Welcome to Beacon High School online video. Today we are going to learn about natural resources. Natural resources. Natural resources are those resources that we get from nature. Natural resources are of two types, renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are those resources that have a constant supply and it will not get exhaust with the use in future. For example, sun, wind, water. Non-renewable resources are those resources that are formed in nature but can get exhaust with the use over time and their replacement is also not possible. For example, minerals and fossil fuels. Let us study different use of natural resource. Solar energy is used to cook food in solar cooker and lightning street lights. Wind power has a great energy. Windmills are used to generate electricity. The flowing water can be used to produce electricity by construction of dams in river. This is called hydro energy. When biodegradable garbage like cow dung, sewage or plant residue decays, then biogas is produced. Biogas can be used as a household fuel. It can also be used to produce electricity. Let us know how these non-renewable resources are formed. Non-renewable resources such as fossil fuels and minerals were formed from the remains of plants and animals that died and got buried under the soil for millions of years ago. They were compressed and squeezed for millions of years and due to pressure they turned into coal, petrol or natural gas. Since they take millions of years to form, they can exhaust with the use. Minerals can be ores, which is the impure form. Then we extract the pure form, that is metals like gold, iron, silver and copper from the mineral ores. Living beings breathe in air to survive and nature has given this gift in abundance. Earth is surrounded by a thick blanket of air called atmosphere. Air is a mixture of gas. Air contains about 78% nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, 0.03% of carbon dioxide and some traces of other gases. Now let us study the constituents of air and its importance. Oxygen. Oxygen is needed for breathing and it also supports burning. Nitrogen. Nitrogen is the most abundant gas in the air and it neither burns nor helps in burning. It is an inert gas. Therefore, it is called inactive gas. It prevents the growth of microorganisms in the packaged food and nitrogen is also needed for the growth of the plants and the animals. Next is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is needed by the plants for the photosynthesis process. It is also used to make the soft drinks. Carbon dioxide is used to put off fire. So it is used in fire extinguisher. Carbon dioxide is also known as greenhouse gas because it traps the sun's heat and keep our earth a warm place to live. Oxygen and carbon dioxide balance. Nature has organized a perfect balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Living organisms breathe in oxygen from the atmosphere and give out carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide is used by plants for photosynthesis process and they give out oxygen. And that oxygen is again used by living beings for respiration. Atmospheric oxygen is also used up in burning. In this way, the composition of air in the atmosphere remains the same. Ozone layer. Between 16 to 20 kilometers above the surface of the earth, there is a layer of gas called ozone. This layer does not allow harmful radiation, that is ultraviolet rays from the sun to enter the earth's surface. Ultraviolet rays are harmful to us as they can cause skin cancer, eye problems and other skin disease. How air supports life in soil and water. Some plants and animals live in water, some on land and some in the upper layer of the soil. But all need oxygen to breathe. Water contains dissolved air in it. So the aquatic plants and animals breathe in this air. Soil contains air in it. Air is present in the space between the soil particles. So plant roots take in this air while breathing. Let us know about water and its importance. All living beings need water to live and to carry out the life processes. The human body is about 75% water. We drink water, we also take in water through drinks like fruit juices, milk, tea or coffee. Water is also present in the food we eat. Let us know about the sources of water. Water is one of the common substances found on the earth. It covers more than 70% of the earth's surface. It is also present in the air in the form of water vapor. Almost all the water, that is 97% on the earth, is found in the oceans and the seas. Polar ice is only 2% that add water. And the fresh water, that is the river, lakes, groundwater, they are less than 1%. The purest form of natural water is rainwater. There are two natural sources of water. One is surface water and other one is groundwater. Surface water comprises water from the rain and they are found in large water bodies like river, lakes, oceans, seas and glaciers. Rivers. River is a long stream of water that is fed by rains and melting snow from mountains. River water contains dissolved impurities and may not be fit for drinking directly. So, it can be treated to make it fit for drinking. The flowing water of rivers can be used to produce electricity by constructing dams in them. So, energy produced by dams using water is called hydro energy. Lakes and ponds. Lakes and pond is a small water body that gets collected from rain, river and melting snow. Lakes and ponds are the best places for swimming. Their water can also be used for drinking after treating it chemically. Sea water or ocean is salty and most of the water available to us on the earth is sea water or the ocean water. It is not fit for drinking but it can be utilized for many useful things. The salt that we eat is produced by evaporating the sea water and we get wide variety of seafood from the sea. It also gives us magnesium, a metal and bromine, a non-metal. We also use tides to produce electricity and this is called tidal power or ocean thermal energy. Glaciers. Glaciers are the huge mass of ice that move slowly over land. They also add water to the rivers, lakes, ponds, ocean and the sea after melting. The next natural source of water is groundwater. Some rainwater seeps through the soil and gets collected above the layer of impervious rock. Now what is impervious rock? Those rocks that do not permit water to pass through them freely and trap the water. So this forms a sort of large water body under the ground and this is groundwater. Groundwater is safe for drinking. So the water which is fit for drinking is called potable water. Wells have underground water. When groundwater comes out with a pressure through an opening on the earth's surface, it forms a spring. Dependence on water. Besides supporting life and carrying out life processes, water has many other uses. There are three main uses of water: industrial use, household chores and agricultural use. In industries, waters are used for extraction and refining of metals, for production of the materials. It also used as a solvent because in water we can mix any substances. It is also used as a raw materials. Water is used to generate electricity. It is used to clean the material and also it acts as a coolant. Now in household chores, in our day-to-day life, water is very important for cooking, for cleaning, drinking, washing, bathing and brushing. In agricultural use, water is used in irrigation for the growth of the plants, and plants uses water for photosynthesis process, for transportation, to draw the minerals from the soil as well as for transpiration. What will happen if it does not rain for a year? The soil becomes absolutely dry and this will affect the plant life. There will be loss in vegetation, animal life and scarcity of food. Water bodies like ponds, lakes, seasonal river, wells and rivers will dry up. The level of groundwater will goes down and we will not get the potable water and this will make our life uncomfortable. If this condition continues for long, it may cause drought and famine. Now what will happen if it rains heavily? Excess of rain may lead to various problems like rise in the level of water in rivers and lakes may cause submerging the plains. Agricultural fields, towns, cities and villages may also get submerged in water. It will cause damage to the crops. It will cause damage or loss to the property, human life and animals. It will affect the aquatic life as they get carried away with flowing water to other places and they get trapped in land and die. Saving water. Potable water is not adequately available to everyone, but those who are getting good supply of it, they are wasting it. So we should save it. There is one technique, that is rainwater harvesting. In this technique, the water gets collected on the terrace and then they are stored in the water tank through the pipe, and this water can be used in the future. We can use it for irrigation, for washing clothes, for drinking and for other domestic purpose. We can also save water. If we see a leaking tap, just get it repaired. While you are brushing your teeth, turn off the running tap. For washing cars, for bathing, use stored water in a bucket. Don't use shower for longer time. Do not throw the water used for washing vegetables and grains. Collect it and use it to water the plants. Do not waste water while bathing. If you will follow these steps, you will be able to conserve the water and that can be used in the future also. So today we have learned all about the natural resources, its uses and how we can save it.